checklist of like, this person is handling this task, this person is handling another. And we have actually a text group that we frequently communicate on, probably every day, just because we're friends otherwise. But we talk a lot, and we try to keep each other, up to date, to try to help mitigate that. So it's like, we know everyone is slammed, right? Everyone is busy, everyone's being pulled in a million directions. And, of course, kids, work, everything else. So we just try to kind of mitigate that by trying to assign tasks to each other, having that on the agenda so that the next meeting we can look back and say, oh, so-and-so, did you follow up with so-and-so on this or that? So that's just one way that we try to help avoid that situation. But we haven't had that issue on our board. So I can't really speak to that, but I was just trying to give some advice on how to maybe work around it.
Thank you. So, and we have Shika Oniyema. I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. She explained that they stop assigning them major duties. So they only get mundane tasks that can be made up easily by others. So that is a good idea. I see Ms. Conradi. Did I say that right? Okay.
Yes. We've kind of taken to having a co-chair for some of those jobs that were difficult and important enough that you needed to get them done. So we have a chair and a co-chair. When a person comes on the board and they're new and they say they're going to do things and then they don't, at least they have kind of hopefully they'll have a co-chair to work with. It also makes it more fun to work with someone else, although you can't always find the volunteers, obviously. And then we, like you just said, we try to, then the next year we make sure that person only is a co-chair or gets just tasks that we know they can complete. And the rest of us just fill in and take over, for what needs to be done, basically.
Thank you for that. That's helpful. Okay, Ms. Kathy, you're up. Your question was, do you leverage specific resources to get ideas that you are willing to share?
Yeah, so like I mentioned already, we're still fairly new trying to reactivate our membership. I know that there was at Burton, I'm a parent of a first grader. So last year was virtual for us. We were just trying to get involved. I was like, where's the PTO? How do I get involved in that? And so, I am speaking as a novice, probably. There's probably a lot more, professionals on this call that could probably give even better answers than I can. But as a novice and as someone who was looking for resources, one of the things that I found helpful was PTO Today. I wanted to mention that website. I see a lot of heads nodding. If someone doesn't know about that website, they have great templates for documents. They have ideas for fundraisers. They even have templates for like meeting minutes. I mean, that was something that, one of our secretaries just pulled down real quick, and she was able to use that. It's pretty much like crowdsourced. So a lot of that information is it's all from other PTOs and PTAs. So a lot of that is really helpful. They also have even like calendars, because, every week it seems like there's like, paraprofessional day or, something that I don't want to miss out on. So those are really helpful. I print that out and put that in my binder. They also have like a newsletter that comes out pretty often, at least once a week, and it has different blog posts and ideas there. They also just launched their PTO University. And this is a new opportunity where you can sign up to take their classes. The last one they did was in September, and it was about volunteers and getting more people to volunteer, finding more parents to volunteer. So that was really helpful. And they also have leadership guides for any new board positions or even members. So that's really helpful. That was something that, I wasn't even sure, what all does the president do, and I was able to go on there and find that guide. Another great resource that we also typically use is Canva. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Canva. I know you've probably seen some commercials or something for it. We do have a professional, license or subscription, if you will. And that allows us, and even a free access will allow you to create flyers, Facebook posts, and they look beautiful. It looks like, I'm a writer by trade, but I'm not a designer, but it makes me look like a designer by using that. And it's just a really quick way to pull little flyers together for Peach Jar, or however else your school likes to communicate with the families and the students. And then another way that we've kind of been using resources is just following other people's PTO groups within Fort Bend ISD. it's always helpful to see what are the other campuses doing that we can maybe implement on our own campus. So I like to follow a few different, elementary PTOs out there and just kind of see what they're doing, because that helps, bring us new ideas. Since we're probably not meeting, on a regular basis. I mean, I don't have any other contacts with them, but at least I can see what they're up to. And just Pinterest, right? I mean, Pinterest has been around for quite a while, but it gave me some great ideas for, staff appreciation gifts last year. There's plenty of cute ideas on there, and I was able to kind of look at those and kind of brainstorm and take that and use our budget, right? Because we have a small budget, but gave me a lot of ideas that way. We also use, obviously Facebook. We have our own Facebook page where we can reach out to staff members and also to parents and just kind of keep them up to date on what we're doing. And by using all of these resources, we've been able to, kickstart a teacher supply closet this year. That's never been done at Burton, but we wanted to figure out a way to do that. So those were different ways that we found ideas like that. And also teacher appreciation letters that we wrote to the students in October for World Teacher Day. So just by, talking to, our current board members, some of which have been on the board for several years, and then kind of reaching out to other ones and seeing what they're doing. Those are all kind of resources that I typically use, at least weekly, if not daily. So hopefully that gives you a good overview. I saw some other hands up and comments as well.
Yeah. So I saw, where did her, I think it was Maya. I think it was a Maya.
Yes, hi. Yes, hi. I just wanted her to repeat the name of the first resource she mentioned where she got the templates for the minutes and so on.
So PTO Today, is that what you're talking about? PTO Today.
Okay.
And that's the name of the website. And they have a subscription too, but we don't subscribe to that. I just have like the free newsletter and all of that. But if you go on their website, they have tons of categories for templates. I mean, anything under the sun that you can think of. So I encourage you to go there and check that out. And I saw in the chat.
Oh yeah, I dropped it in the chat. So, and then we will, and I took notes of the things that you were saying. So we will share those in a follow up to the summary. So that way we can collect everything and you guys can have those resources after the meeting as well.
Great. And Kelly Willis put a note in the chat saying that if you're a registered nonprofit, you can get Canva for nonprofits for free. So that's a great tip. Thank you for that. I didn't know that. One of our members actually had a paid membership previously. So we're just piggybacking off of that one, but that's great to know. And I really encourage that one. I mean, it's easy. It's drag and drop. It's just, you can pick a flyer that's already made and just put your own text in there. I mean, that's how easy it is. And you can resize it. It's just amazing. I use it all the time.
Thank you so much. Okay, Pyle has a question.
Hi, I'm Pyle. I'm with the Collaborative Communities Department here at the district. And so you said something very interesting, Kelsey, and I appreciate you serving as a panelist today about following other PTOs, PTAs on social. So my follow-up to that is, has that sparked any discussions or interactions with them, or are you simply following them? I think we just want to see, like, is there interactions with our parent organizations across the district?
So no, I've had a couple reach out to us saying, hey, we're in middle school. Are there any 5th grade volunteers that are coming up to 6th grade and that, they're looking for a pipeline, which I get, right? I mean, I wish we had a pipeline, but I'm elementary. So, I personally don't have a lot of contacts out there. It would be really great if we could get a compiled list of like, here are all of them out there so we could start talking to each other and sharing more resources. I'm speaking personally. I'd love that. I'd love to be able to connect with a few other people, especially because, like I said, I am more novice to the whole PTO thing. So
that's sort of the purpose of collaborative communities. That's what these meetings are for, is to bring people together. And there's a compliance meeting at the beginning of the year. And then this time of year, we have the Let's Network and Share Ideas. So we are trying to grow that as well. And it's not just for board members.
Great.
So,
yeah, no, for sure.
Just invite, because that's a sustainability, like you're talking about a pipeline of people to be in your PTO. That's a sustainability factor. If you invite all your parents, then they can share ideas. You never know where you're going to get an idea from.
Absolutely.
I dropped the Fort Bend ISD PTO PTA board member Facebook link I'm on that page. I know one of the ladies posted the event for me in there. And so I'm in there. And then there's also another national one. I think it's linked to PTO today. It says PTO and PTO leaders. So I'm going to drop that into the chat as well. But again, I will be posting all of these resources, sharing all these resources post meeting. So if you missed the link, don't worry about it. We'll get it to you. Oh no.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And thank you, Kelsey. I think there's some other comments in the chat too, which are very helpful. It looks like there is some interaction with some of you, meeting with other presidents and committee members. So I think this is great for us at the district to learn about as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because the more we can get more people to participate, the more ideas we're going to get. All right, so that brings us to Miss Julie Hittle. Julie Hittle has she is with the Baines Middle School PTO co-president. Mm-hmm. So she's going to answer the question, what are some lessons you have learned along the way?
And so I am the Baines, as she said, co-president this year. We moved here from Colorado 3 years ago. So I was part of PTO boards there, more elementary school. So it just brings a little bit of a different perspective, but I think the issues that you run into seem to span. It doesn't matter where you are or what state you're in, you seem to run into the same stuff. But I think during the pandemic, it was really hard. Meetings were all online and a lot of personal connections broke down. And so it was harder last year to fill board positions, whereas in years past, I think they had quite a few more volunteers. And then people who were willing to volunteer didn't necessarily end up in positions that they wanted. I didn't feel like. I think they had been online and it was just kind of, everybody was just getting along to get along. And then when the pandemic ended, we were able to, start up again this year. People were, signed up, ready to go, but not necessarily where they belonged. So I was sitting today trying to think like, how did we handle this? So we pretty much at the beginning of the year went what I feel like was going back to basics and, making sure that volunteers both on the board and on committees truly feel appreciated and communicating that to them. And I know it sounds old-fashioned, but I'm a huge advocate of writing a personal handwritten thank you note and handing it to those volunteers who've spent their time in doing whatever it is that they have done. For those people who have gone above and beyond and really helped out, I'll pick up flowers or cookies or something special for them so that they know, wow, I put in that extra time and people really appreciate what I've done and making them feel good about what they've done. We've gone back to celebrating birthdays at board meetings. It's not a big deal. We hand out a birthday card and acknowledge it, and with like a little $5 Starbucks gift card or something in it, but it just makes people feel special. And I feel like making them feel appreciated makes them want to come back because, once you have those volunteers there, you don't want to lose them. Another thing in the beginning of the year about that going back to basics and reconnecting again was reaching out to the board. So one thing I didn't explain at the beginning, my son at Baines is a 6th grader. So this was my first year at the middle school, and they had a really hard time filling that president position. So I said, I'm happy to do it, but I don't have this huge broad network of people. We just moved here a few years ago, and they said, well, great, sign up anyway, we'll take you, which I think is not uncommon that you get people. So so I reached out to the board members because a lot of them I didn't know, most of them I did not know because I hadn't been on the board in years past, and just talked with them about how can we help you with your position, especially coming off of the time off with the pandemic. And then is there anything maybe you'd rather be doing or extra skills that you have that you could use to help out? And we had a woman sign up to be on the board, and she signed on to be in charge of PR, which great. And except that then she, sorry, my lights just went out. I noticed behind me, I got distracted, but she signed on to be in charge of PR and would do our website. And then later she told me, you know what, I really signed up. I didn't know anything about websites or PR. I just wanted to be on the board. I have a special needs son, and I just wanted to use it as a way to meet people. Well, that's great. I think that's important that people sign up to network within the school and get to know people, but we still needed someone to deal with our website issues. So through this reaching out process, the woman who was in charge of VIPs said, you know, I'm doing VIPs this year, but I really would prefer website. Like, I've taught myself website design. I'm doing it for the PTO at the elementary school. And so I would rather do that. So, well, maybe you could work together, collaborate as board members and, you know, work to update the website. And so they ended up working together. But again, if those personal connections hadn't been there, that never would have happened. You know, like during the pandemic, it just wouldn't have happened. So the website hadn't been updated in a couple of years. So, so that was just helpful, you know, is just making that sure that you make that personal connection and reach out to those board members. A third idea behind all of this is not just making sure that volunteers feel appreciated and happy, but also planning for next year. And I think sometimes people wait to start filling board positions until halfway through second semester. And by that time, it might be, I don't want to say it's too late. It's never too late. But I think in the beginning of the year, you start identifying people's skill sets, what they're good at, what they love, making them love being on the board, making them love their job, and making them want to continue volunteering. And so that when you identify their strengths and what positions they want, you don't risk the potential of losing volunteers. And that one woman that I said loves doing website design, she approached last year's president and said, I don't think I want to be on the board anymore. I'm not enjoying this. I'm not having fun. And she's turned out to be a really valuable volunteer that could have been lost without making some kind of a connection with her. So we're happy to have her. And then my final point would be making sure that volunteers understand what their job is. I think sometimes people just kind of sign on blindly, like, oh, sure, I can do that. And you think, great. And last year, when they were filling positions, they were desperate for someone to be treasurer. And they're literally to the last end of school, there was nobody stepping up, and you can't have a PTO without a treasurer. And so this woman who was a CPA stepped up finally and said, I'll do it. Well, great. And I think because she was a CPA, we just assumed she's got this. But then it became clear she didn't. And so for the first 3 months of this year, she never got the financials done. Reimbursement checks, you know, there was a big 6th grade social, a volunteer was owed over $1,000. The reimbursement check didn't go. We'd signed it, you know, and she still didn't get it. She just still didn't get it. And it was like, oh my gosh, what? And she said, well, I put it in the mail. 2 weeks go by, a third week, and it's like that she doesn't have that. I mean, it was becoming really stressful. She spent a lot of time doing things like trying to figure out how to make her job easier instead of actually doing her job. And how can we get around this 2-signature thing? It's such a pain. Can I use the debit card more? Can I do? And it was like, oh my gosh. And then the final thing that led to what happened was she said, we finally said, it would be super helpful if you would meet with the treasurer. We had suggested this over the summer, but we said, if you could meet with last year's treasurer who had been in that position for 2 years, and she was resistant to that. And then finally she said, I really do think I need to meet with her. And I told her I'd really like to be there for that meeting because I would like to understand me thinking in case you fall down and don't do this, like someone needs to know what's going on. And she said, no, that's not negotiable. I won't let you be at that meeting with the past treasurer. And then I thought, my husband, who's a past CFO, I was telling him the story, and he's like, this could be some sort of fraud. Like I don't think I was thinking when I took this job as president of the PTO, like there's money in the bank that could be stolen. And she has the keys to the bank, you know? So, oh my gosh, and that is not what was happening. She just was in over her head, and she subsequently said, I think I need to resign. I can't do the job the way it needs to be done. So in retrospect, and it worked out sort of, we ended up having to hire the old treasurer, and now we pay her to do it. The financials, it's not ideal, you know, but we worked it out. But I think had we had those personal connections and been able to sit down with her and say, this is the job, not just read the job description, but this is the job. And these are the things that need to go. You need to go get the cash out of the safe once a week and take it to the bank. Like, it's a responsibility when the treasurer is a big responsibility. And I don't think she realized how much of a responsibility it was. So again, those personal connections, having those and creating those would avoid a lot of these issues that have come up. Yeah, so.
That was helpful. We actually have a question. It's Miss Connie. I don't know if it's a question or a comment.
I just wanted to reiterate what Julie
Hey,
said.
Connie.
Hi, Julie. Hey, Del.
I know.
Yeah, I know. So I've handled a budget. I've been VIPs on the PTO, and so I've handled a budget of $70,000. And so when I first got that budget, I was like, holy mackerels, like, I don't know if I can do this because I'm so bad with money. But I think the point to my success was that I was so organized. And so now I'm president of the Ridgepoint Orchestra Booster, and our committee has stayed the same, but I think I'm leading it a little bit differently in that when I gave people the opportunity to actually choose which position they wanted to be in, not just to open it up and say, okay, this is open, this is what you're going to do. And so these people, their strengths are just amazing, and they are really doing what they care to do as a volunteer, because nobody gets paid for this, and we put in a lot of hours. So it's always like really fun for them. So I loved that you had said that, just like explicitly summarize what that position is going to be, because that's how they know whether they're going to want to do it or not. Yeah. And then I always give bylaws. I'm like, dude, this is like 40,000 pages, but read it. Read what corresponds to that position and see if you can hold up that part of the bylaw. I mean, it's a law. So we do like double motions, and we check money like 4 times, and we do 3 signatures. And that they, as a booster, our booster is very, very new. So as this booster, nobody really gets what they're supposed to, why they're supposed to do everything, and why we double check, and why money goes into the bank and there's receipts, and why we do everything on email. It's so there's digital evidence now. We've got that. It's at the touch of our fingers. And yeah, so I think one of the other things that I learned was just to give people creative freedom. I'm not a helicopter mom. I'm not a helicopter boss. I'm not a helicopter anything. Let them do what they feel is best, and you get some incredible results. That was my comment.
Thank you for your comment. We appreciate it. I thought I saw Pyle's hand up. Did you lower it?
No, it was music to my ears. I was clapping. I was like, that's fabulous. That's what we want to hear.
I was in banking, so I'm like, dual control. Very good. Checks and balances.
I was just clapping. I think that was really good feedback.
And I'm sure Serenity is probably very happy about it too. All right. So at this point, that's our panelists, but we're going to have more questions. And so either the panelists, or if you have some ideas, I did pull and did some research with our team to get some websites, some of which I think Ms. Fulmer answered. But if you have something that maybe you want to share, let me start those questions now, okay? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I think we're doing a minute to win it. Is that right? Yes, it is. AIM Fundraising Services. Janine, you want to pull up the screen? I'm sorry. We're going to do, what is it? Oh, I was so in the moment. This dialogue was really going. So we're going to do not a raffle. What is it called?
A giveaway.
Kind of yeah, it's just a giveaway.
It's a raffle giveaway. Yeah. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So in the chat, I shared our fundraising vendors that have joined us today. We like to connect you all so that you can find interesting ways to do fundraising for your campuses. So today we have first AIM Fundraising, and let's spin the wheel. You must be present to win. So, and we're gonna do it 3 times. And after 3 times, if they're not here, we're gonna, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we hopefully you're here. So let's spin. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's, AIM fundraiser, Chris, if you're available, can you just speak a few minutes, or well, 1 minute about your company and tell us what your giveaway is.
Oh, hey, I'm Chris with AIM Fundraising. Mainly the company, we're located here in Houston. We do full service fundraising. We've been doing a lot of online fundraising this year, so I've been going great. I mean, it seems like everybody wanted to do a little bit late this year because of the, the variant and everything. But overall, the fundraisers have been great. We have been, probably like everybody else, have a couple of delays from suppliers. But, we are pushing through everything this year to try to get everything to everybody. What we do offer is like a full service program. Most of our fundraisers this year have been direct to home. So since we're here local in Houston area, we are able to deliver the items directly to your homes instead of having to pick it up at the school. So that's what we've been doing probably for the last 6 weeks, is just fulfillment on a lot of orders, basically delivering all the orders to the home, not have to pick it up. We haven't had that many school deliveries this year, but we do offer, great full service programs for y'all. So our website is aimfundraising.com. You can look at all the programs. Of course, anything for now will be set up for the spring season. So we can help out. Feel free to reach out to us. And
okay, Chris, what are you giving away?
We do a
today?
$50 gift card for the winner. So just once you win, reach out to me, and then I'll make sure that we get it out to you with the with the goodie bag.
Okay, all right, let's spin. Do we have Holly here? No, Holly Bentz? Okay, all right. Let's spin one more time or 2 more times. Come on, be here. Diana Flick. Okay, the last time is a charm. Hold on, let's see. Jennifer Varnell, are you here? Anybody here?
I am.
She's here. Yay, awesome. Okay, what school are you
Yes.
representing?
We are from Colony Meadows Elementary School.
Awesome. Okay, well, we'll get you and Chris from AIM Fundraising connected to get your prize. Congratulations.
Okay. Now we'll jump into the other questions. Did you want to, okay, good, you took that down. I've got so many windows open, bear with me, gotta get back to my agenda. Okay, so the first open forum question is, how do you engage your community? Like, what do y'all do to get your community involved in your organization? Do you join chambers? Does anybody have anything to share on that? I'm not seeing any hands. So
If you want to hear from me, I can go again.
sure.
I probably can't see me very well. Because
You're breaking up really bad. Connie, you're breaking up really bad. Hello? She doesn't have good internet, so it's not going to work. Well, as community engagement people for our department, we definitely do engage with community service organizations, local interfaith agencies, the chambers, the different PTOs. We try to engage all the PTOs that are part of the district. Pyle, you can feel free to chime in, other ideas.
Sure. I think it's important that if you are seeking the community engagement at your campuses, or even just looking within your feeder patterns of the other schools in the area, potential collaboration opportunities that you may have. Our department in collaborative communities is always happy to help as well, because we may know at the district level of organizations that are looking to support our campuses. And so we do engage with our campus administration and our principals quite often but it's always important to hear from you all. If that is something that you all need help with, that helps our team, have these talking points with you all, and we can provide that information to you. But certainly encouraged to, and just again, looking in your surrounding communities, looking again at your other schools and how potential collaboration can happen is very important as well.
I think also working with your campus leadership, because they may have been there for a while, and be able to point you in the direction of other agencies that have supported the campus in the past. So you may want to do that. Yes, we're here to support as well. And we do connect dots too. So if you just have a question on we get emails all the time that they want to do one thing and it's not really our department, but we bring the right people together to the table so that they can move forward. Oh, Connie says she's sorry because we're orchestra. We get out and play at markets and churches. Oh, so she's an orchestra. So they go play at markets and churches to kind of, I guess, engage with their community in that way. And their students get to play their music. So that's pretty nice. Anybody else have anything to share on that question?
I'll add that we typically, we record our member meetings and then we post them out onto Facebook. And then we share those within multiple different groups, either within like our neighborhood group or, other groups that the vice president knows about and shares in. And because of that, I kind of lead the meeting in a way that is open to communities or neighbors or, grandparents or whoever to reach out to us if they want to help support some of the initiatives that we have, whether that be, quarterly or monthly. We do like staff appreciation breakfast and things like that. And if someone wants to help donate toward that type of cause, just kind of sharing what we're doing on a monthly basis to see, if anyone would like to support. But that's one thing that I kind of try to do to kind of help, help the neighbors and, our community understand what we're doing, just in case they want to help or support.
And y'all were featured on ABC 13, weren't you?
Yes, we were. Yes.
So that was helpful too.
That was really helpful. Yeah, that was with our teacher supply closet. Like I said, that was something new. That was actually me and the PTO vice president. Our girls were having a play date. It was closer toward the summer. And we said, how can we help support the teachers? And it had never been done before. And I thought, well, maybe keeping their money in their pockets is one way to help. So we it was just kind of like between a couple of us, and I put it out on Facebook and then it got picked up. And I know the district helped support, coordinating an interview for that. And I think it was like the week before school started, they coordinated an interview with ABC 13. And and that was awesome. So that was, I think that was only 8 donors and we donated $550 worth of supplies. So, that was awesome. And then Walgreens just donated another $400. So we actually just went shopping a couple of days ago and restocked it with a bunch of expo markers and, crayons and all kinds of things. So yeah, that's another way that we were able to get it out there and people saw it and wanted to support. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, for you say you're a novice at this. I think you're doing
I'm
pretty
in
well to
marketing,
be featured in the news.
So like, I'm in marketing, I'm a writer. So like, I kind of know my way around social media and things like that. So luckily that helped to kind of spur some engagement and, get that, help pick it up in the news. But otherwise, yeah, I feel like I'm still like learning the ropes here, but just like y'all said, taking your skill sets, what are your strengths? What are, and this happened to just be one of my strengths. So, whatever I can do to help. And that's all I'm about. Right. So.
Yeah. And leveraging the people that have strengths in other areas to help you with other tasks. That, I mean, it really does take a village to support the students and we appreciate y'all. Okay. Let me get. I think we kind of touched on this, Kelsey, with how do you get parents involved?
How do you get parents involved? Yeah, so I'm still struggling with that one myself. Even this morning, we had a walk to school day, right, where the kids were dropped off a little bit, further out than right at the door, right? And I have to say, even last night, I was like, I'm so burned out. I mean, I literally fell asleep at 7:30 last night. And because of that, I woke up at 6:30, which is unheard of. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go volunteer at the school this morning. So I did. But it is a struggle to get parents involved because we are so overwhelmed with, work, school, the kids, what have you. And, one of the things that we've tried to do is, really leverage our email communications with the members that have completed the membership form. I think we maybe have like close to 38 that signed up on the form, but only about half have paid the dues. So, active members, I don't know. But then the board is really the most active, right? We're the ones that are coming and setting up for the staff appreciation breakfast and things like that. So we're trying to grow our Facebook page. Even we had a curbside trick or treat at the school. We didn't, we helped support that. We certainly didn't organize it. But even there, we were standing out there. We ran out of candy halfway through. I sent my husband to the store. I was like, go get more candy. But we were handing out a flyer to every parent that came through there. We had a stack of flyers that we had written. Earlier in the year, I wrote a little letter about, welcome back to school, yada, yada, here's our mission. And we literally just stood there and gave some candy and gave a flyer, gave some candy, gave a flyer. I mean, we're trying to do whatever we can, more of a grassroots campaign to get the word out that the PTO is here, the PTO is trying to be active, and we're looking for help, whether that be financial support or you want to donate your time. There's so many ways to get involved, right? But we are still struggling, like I said, to build that volunteer base. We just aren't there yet, but we're working on it, right? So I'd love to hear more ideas because we are trying.
So Ms. Hiddle, do you have anything, or does anybody else have a comment that they'd like to share? I do have some that I researched, so I'll look. I'll share those. Share
I
after
haven't
you guys.
researched it. I think I do know parents have responded really well when we have had the principal at our school send out an email to the whole school rather than just to a select group of people who might have signed up for a newsletter. We've actually started having her send out our newsletter just to the entire school. That's how we got around just being able to send it ourselves to members. We did that for fundraising when we did our fundraising drive, and then you could just see in the data, the numbers shoot up. But it's true for when we need, let's say for a social or for an activity, you need donations of drinks or chips or candy or whatever it is. As soon as it comes from the principal, people open it. If it comes from the PTO, they might, or they might not. I mean, it's just the reality, and that's okay. And I know everybody's busy, and trying to keep those information, the communication with the parents as brief as possible, like direct to the point, so they don't get lost and shuffled down. And I think if you need them to actually volunteer for something, most people have gotten used to, we use Sign Up Genius, and people have gotten used to that. And as far in advance as possible, because people just need to know if it's last minute or even a week before, they're like, my schedule's already booked. I can't do it, and even getting the kids to know if the principal can get involved at school, and maybe different elementary, it's maybe easier to get the teachers involved because the kiddos are only in one class or with one or two teachers a day, but to have them talk to the kids about, hey, there's a fun run going on, have your mom or dad sign up. It's a way for your mom or dad to come and see you at the school, especially for elementary. Kids still like that. And even my 6th grade son was like, hey, did you sign up to do this? And so I think it might be different at the high school level, but I think getting the kids to ask the parents, because sometimes, especially as they get older in middle school, the parents think, I can't volunteer. My child doesn't want me there. When in fact, a lot of them don't care if mom or dad are there. And some of them actually really like it. So, just having the kids sort of ask for you, is a good way too.
Thank you for that. I see Jennifer Varnell. Did you have a comment to share?
Yeah, and I hope you guys can hear me since I'm out at the fields with my children. But I know that we all have kind of different, populations at our campus. And I think at Colony Meadows, we're very fortunate to have a lot of volunteers and a lot of parents that want to be involved. But I think one of the best things that we utilize as a PTO is hitting everybody early in the school year. So we coordinate with our admin to have several events at the beginning of school so that we have a table at Meet the Teacher, and we provide all of the information for the parents to sign up. We have a nice little poster board that we put up with QR codes to our website for membership, for spirit wear, to volunteer, to sign up for our volunteer form. We also plan a kindergarten play date and get those kinder parents in early and try to pull them in, connect them with other parents. And then we also do a family fun night at the beginning of the year, sometime at the end of August, where we just put a little money to budget. Sometimes we just bring Kona Ice. That seems to get a lot of families out. And it's more of like a communication networking. We do have a table there with all of our stuff for VIPs and for membership and for spirit. But I feel like if we can get parents the information early, like when school is on their mind, everybody is excited for back to school before they kind of get into their routine, has really helped us kind of pull in new parents and give them more information about what PTO is all about and ways that they can connect.
Thank you. That was a lot of good tips there. Okay, I think we have one more before we do another raffle. How do you find out about and leverage resources that are available to school PTA, PTO clubs? And I think we kind of touched on the different resources, but I didn't know if somebody else had something to add, maybe if you joined a little bit later, or if you thought of something since we initially talked about connecting to resources. Okay, well, if there's no other comments on that question, then Janine, you're free to go ahead and pull up the wheel and spin the wheel and see who's going to get a prize.
Okay, awesome. All right, so our next up is Big Frog custom t-shirts and more. King, can you join us and tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, can you guys see me okay?
Yes.
Hi there, good evening. Yes, my name is King Banerjee. I'm going to go ahead and toss my contact information into the chat there. I hope you all got that. Our general distinctions, well, let me tell you really quickly where we're located. We're located at the intersection of Austin Parkway and Lexington, right across from the First Colony Mall or AMC movie theater parking lot, or for this audience in particular, a good I guess landing mark is the Fort Bend ISD administration building. We're right across the street there. Our distinctions include no minimum orders. We're able to fulfill no minimums, no artwork fees, and we really do pride ourselves on fast turnaround. But I'll tell you what I probably pride not only myself, but my staff and us in general on most is customer service and the quality of work. I will take a quick 10 seconds, if I will. Lydia, you'd mentioned specifically the Chamber of Commerce. I didn't hear a lot of people talk about working with the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce or other chambers of commerce for that matter. It's not lost on me, folks, that you folks volunteer. We do a lot of the same here. We are active with the Fort Bend Education Foundation in terms of volunteer work. But me personally, I am very active at the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board. I'm the outgoing chair of the Business and Professional Division and the incoming, chair-elect for the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce. So I just let you know if that's something that any of you would like to explore, I'm more than happy to talk about it with you. Again, my contact information is right there in the chat. I think I've taken my minute there, Janine, but if you want to go ahead and spin the wheel, I will tell you what we're offering are 10 free custom decorated shirts, light colored shirts, but we're going to show off our digital printing capabilities and show you why we can do no minimums.
Awesome. King, do we have Jane Champagne with us?
I'm here.
Yay! What school do you represent?
I am with Hightower Band and Guard Booster Club.
Awesome. Okay, Jane. Well, congratulations, and we'll get you connected, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so the next panel question is, do you use any specific apps or programs to help manage financial accounting? So those of you that were, can you pull this down?
Yeah, I will. I'm trying. I can't find
Oh,
the
okay.
thing. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Does anyone have any special apps that they use for financials?
I think we're the ones that had the issues. So I've become a little bit more knowledgeable than I was before. The only thing that our treasurer uses is QuickBooks.
Okay, QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
I did some research and it's not really like for financial, for accounting. And so I'm going to share my screen with something that I pulled from Humble ISD. They shared it at a different meeting that I was in. Bear with me. And it is, let's see. I had it up already. Hold on a second. There's that one. Where's the cash app? Paragraphs. Okay. Okay, I got it. I was looking at my PDF in the wrong place. So here's the cash apps that Humble ISD pulled together. They did some good research. And I'm trying to scroll it down, but it's not working. Oh, too fast. So this is a PowerPoint. I will share this with all on their website, but it has different cash app options to use along with the pros and cons comparison of Square, PayPal, CheddarUp, Zelle, Venmo, Google Pay, Apple Pay. And I know there's some of these apps that you definitely have to set it up as a vendor. Just in watching the PTO, the national PTO group that I shared in the chat, there's a lot of dialogue about these pay apps. And so if you haven't joined that PTO group, the national one that I dropped in the chat, you should. There's a lot of dialogue about these cash apps. There's a lot of dialogue about flyers and sharing of templates. So I definitely think it's a good resource. I look there often. I'm not very creative, and these people really knock your socks off with their creativity. So there's just the pros and cons of different ones, and they actually created a table so you could easily see the difference and if there's a cost involved. So we will share this out with everyone in the event y'all are interested in it. But this is not my PowerPoint, but we will share it with you. The other thing that I pulled, oh, go ahead, Jennifer. Barnell, there you go.
Thanks. I was just gonna say, I know people have different website capabilities, but we work with Weebly. Not my favorite website provider, but we did upgrade to a pro account that you can select with. We picked Stripe, which we found was really easy to work with. It integrates into our bank account. So our treasurer can set it up if we're doing like spiritware sales, or if we're selling, tickets to Carnival or something like that, we can sell them through the website with a nonprofit status. So we get the lower fees and percentages. And it's great because our treasurer can go and either pick, batch and pull all the money out at once, or have it done during the day. And it's really easy to kind of, reconcile our bank accounts with their software. And the only thing that I have heard from one of the PTO president website or Facebook accounts that I'm on regarding some of the CheddarUp and some of the other Cash App options is that unless it's linked directly to your bank account, a lot of them have to be like a personal person, just an individual person that if your bylaws have limitations for that executive position or officer, it may be tricky to be able to take from the personal, but like we bank with Wells Fargo and they use Zelle. So it's easy for us to set up Zelle versus using like Venmo, or you can even set it up through PayPal to go if you already have a bank account. But some of the CheddarUps and other Cash Apps, it's a little tricky if you have to use someone's, personal account information. And there were some presidents that were kind of leaning towards saying I wouldn't go that way just for liability purposes. But a lot of these banks have linked up with Zelle and things like that make it easier for, parents to either have a little thing for your phone to swipe credit cards and make it really easy for parents to use other forms of payment.
Awesome. I did drop the Cash App document in the chat in case you guys wanted to take a look at it before I can send it out. So it will be there. Let me get to the next question. All right. So the next question is, how do you ensure the most important information is passed from board to board? The tax information and I guess the historical. Speaking from the district side, you should attend our transition meeting that we will be having February 16th of 2022 from 6 to 7:30. That is Serenity. Did you want to speak a little bit about the transition meeting, like what's usually covered? I know she covers the documents that are required for transition. Did she jump off?
She does recover. She does talk about the transition in terms of how, and I think that it's being asked what that date is again, Lydia. So if you can put that in the chat.
February 16th.
So it is, yes, we talk about board transition and what is needed in terms of even just guidance on having an email address that's not associated with a name, but actual positions and things like that. So I would certainly come to that meeting just to get that additional guidance.
And the meetings will always be 6 to 7:30, just so that way you guys can kind of plan for that. It seems to work well for our parent organizations. That's actually the last question. Does anybody have any other questions that they want to pose to the group to see if something that's been bugging you that you'd like to ask? Okay, well, before we get off, I have a couple other things that I researched that I would share on other questions. I took a lot of notes as well.
And there are a couple of questions too, Lydia.
Okay.
A couple of hands raised.
Okay, let's start with Marwa. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hello.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, hello. I wanted to ask you about, the transitioning. Like, there is an account that has been closed for several years, and we want to open it back, but it have tax issues and stuff. Should we process with it, or how can we do the transition? And when is this meeting? You said it's on the 22nd?
February 16th, 2022.
Okay.
Serenity, are you available to answer that? I'm not really sure. You'd probably need to talk to a tax professional. If there's tax issues with that account, you probably need to find out what's going on at the bank and get them to explain it to you. And I would take it to a tax professional. Anything dealing with tax issues, we're not credentialed to make that.
It's non-profit and it's for the school. It's a school organization. So which professional do I talk to?
We actually can share, if you can send our department, can someone drop our email into the chat? There is a tax person that usually comes at the beginning of the year that provides information about how the PTOs can file their taxes and stuff. And he does do some consultation. Some of it is fee for service and some of it is free. So it just depends. We can share his information, but he usually comes in the beginning of the year to help the board members get their stuff set up. So the email is in the chat. You can feel free to email our department that question and we can put you in contact with him.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Okay, Miss Connie.
Okay, I'm at the award ceremony. So if I drop out, I just wanted to make a quick comment. So when I first joined PTO on boosters, I thought they were point and apart from Fort Bend ISD district. And so I am like completely impressed by this. And I didn't realize we had so much support from the district. So I think I would love to see personally the channels opening up a little bit more between the district and, I know this is a select group of people, but I would love to see those channels be completely open for any questions we may have. I know Serenity has answered probably 1,001 questions from our team. But is there going to be any more collaboration, perhaps for the whole PTO or booster, or I don't know, like
Everyone is invited to these meetings. So it's not just board members.
Oh.
Anybody can come. We want you to share it with your families. And you may have came on a little bit later, but we want you to share it with all of your members because that's your sustainability. If you are president today, but you know your child is moving up, those parents that you got involved are going to understand the process. Even if they're not more board members at the moment, they're learning as they go. As they come to the meetings, they hear the conversations, they get ideas.
And
So
Connie,
do you think, yes,
I was going to just say, we appreciate your feedback, and we do want, we
Yes.
want those channels open. And I think from the district lens, we're trying to reach out to our groups, but I think what would help us as well is what type, you know, you don't have to answer that in the moment, but what type of support do you all need? How can we come alongside you and provide that support? And I think that would, again, foster the communication and collaboration between district and parent organizations, because we're always seeking ways in which to support you all.
I think workshops, I can answer that right off because I already know like the questions we've had. Workshops about how to do certain things, like fundraisers is a big thing, because how far can you go? Like our ideas like blow off this planet, but how far as a school and as an entity can we go? So workshops, I think, is a great idea to get the whole booster PTO, the whole committee members are a huge deal, because sometimes they're not part of that official booster, but they're the ones who are turning all the wheels, you know? And so, like I said, I don't like to stump creativity, but I think, you know, just giving people a little bit of information so they know how far to go. We don't want to cross any boundaries, and we don't want to do something wrong. You know, we want to be on the up and up.
Absolutely.
But workshops are, I think they're a great idea, even to do within our own little collaborations and entities.
We you know, we could do these more often. We just need the ideas and the research and people willing to support and help us get some answers, like the panelists today. I did drop, you mentioned fundraising, so I dropped a resource that also came off the Humboldt ISD webpage, and it says top 10 fundraising ideas. So I just threw that out there. Those just some of the things that we found and were shared with by other districts. I see Jennifer, I can't see your full last name. Oh, Courtney, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest maybe even if you didn't do like meetings, but if you did maybe recorded webinars about like the food trucks. I know there's a lot of details on working with the district to get the food trucks. So if that was like a presentation that can be sent out, and then you have, I don't know, that would be like a big topic of interest.
So funny you should mention that. We are in preliminary discussions to actually host an event face-to-face in April, where there will be food trucks and vendor fair. And so the information for the meeting for the food trucks and vendors will be on the inside, and we'll have two groups, so that way we can keep it spaced out some. So while one group that's gonna attend the meeting later, they can attend the vendors and food trucks and try things out and talk to them, then they'll switch. So that's one way we're gonna do it. Recording that would look a little bit different. We have presented the information at previous DPOC meetings, but we could look into that.
Yeah, and we can provide you with information and show you where on the website, on our district website, where there's more information about the food trucks that you can glean some information from.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have one more comment. If you are a registered nonprofit, check out TechSoup. you can get discounted software through them. That is how we that is how we have our QuickBooks license. And it's highly discounted from a regular yearly subscription when you're a business.
Okay, I'm gonna drop that link in the chat and then we'll keep that for the notes. All right, Jeff, the last minute to win it is available.
Sure. We also have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, Kelly Willis.
Hi, yes, I put it in the chat, but I was asking if you were going to be able to make meetings like this, recordings available for us to share with our members, because I like that idea of being able to share meeting recordings when our members can't make it, but you want them to, you know, kind of, you want to pique their interest and get them into seeing what volunteering at this level looks like.
So we are recording this meeting. We have not made them available in the past because we've not recorded them, but we are in discussion, and so we'll need to touch base with our leadership team to make sure that it's allowable. So possibly.
Thank you.
Jennifer Barnell.
I just had a quick comment. I think if getting information about the transition, I think Ms. Cook sends that out to the campuses when transitioning happens in the spring, and getting new board members on that email string where we fill out the district's form about like who's on VIPs and, you know, who's the new president and the contact information. Having something maybe on social media about that to make sure that all the schools are getting on that email to be connected. And my second comment, and it may not be doable, but until I was a part of the board a couple years ago, I didn't even know about the Department of Collaborative Communities and what they did. And the way the website is set up, when you go to parents or students or volunteering, it kind of takes you there. But if there was something on the Collaborative Communities page that really kind of featured boosters, PTOs, PTAs, so that we would know where to go, because it has been so helpful and impactful to have the resources that are on that page and to be aware of them before someone kind of gets into a board position, and to be able to have that. I just don't know if that like is more of like a rebranding thing or something, but just to be able to make it a little bit easier to know and link PTOs and boosters to collaborative communities, and knowing that's what the department to reach out to is.
That's really good feedback, Jennifer, and something that our department is striving to do. And I know that there's work still there to be done. And I think where this group can help us is really to be the ambassadors. I think of, there's this department that exists, and here's what this department does. I think at one of our first meetings, we did share what our key work is in the department, but very helpful feedback. And I know that Serenity, on the resources that she has for parent organizations on her website, she also links to our webpage. So that's something I think can certainly be done, and we can talk through what that content looks like. So thank you for that feedback.
All right. Do we have any other comments, questions?
I do want to add, I'm sorry, I was putting out fires. My
That's okay.
apologies,
That's
but
okay.
I did get the last question about information about the new officers and being able to reach out to those people. So those documents actually come from me. And so it would definitely be helpful if I knew early who the new officers would be. And so on the website, on the parent org page, there is a information sheet that's on there. You can fill that out at any time and send it directly to me so that I can update the documentation that I have for you, so that I'll be able to send it directly to those new members, and I won't have to bother those people who have moved on, because we really are, the issue is that we're having to depend on those people who have moved on to different campuses to transfer that information and reach out to the new people. And so that's been the issue that we've had in the past.
Jennifer?
Oh no, I was just clapping like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was your hand
I'm
raised.
sorry. I'm like, she's totally right, because you're really dependent on that last person in the position. And if they've moved on, or things didn't end well, it's really hard to start a transition, and you just want the best for that new group coming in. So having even Fort Bend ISD tweeting it or sharing it on social media, because I know a lot of the parents follow, to say, you know, PTOs, PTAs, go to this link. You can fill out the form for all these new officers, just to kind of get it out there, because it is hard when you're relying on somebody else to forward an email to you that's kind of checked out.
Definitely.
I think also with that was the email addresses, that they're not using personal email addresses anymore, because that's part of the problem, is it gets linked to someone's email instead of like PTO at XYZ campus.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I also wanted to add, we will be having that transition meeting in February, but that the documentation is out on the website right now. So if you want to have those discussions with your current board before February, you can always go to the website and pull that transition document out there, so you know what to be discussing.
Ms. Willis?
Sorry.
I was muted and saying your name.
I wanted to add a comment that was really helpful. What we're doing this year, getting ready for our transitions, are if you own your own domain name, which doesn't cost that much, but if you own your own domain name and you are a registered nonprofit, you can get Google Workspace for free, which is amazing, because then you can have those position email addresses, shared drives, and be able to keep all of your organization's information together, no matter who comes in and out of those positions. So
you say it was free?
Yes, it is free for nonprofits.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, last call. Janine, do you have the last in the wheel, minute to win it?
Oh, I do. Last one is corridor concepts. And so corridor concepts, Caesar, I think it is, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, awesome. Go ahead and introduce your company.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. My name is Cesar. I'm with Corridor Concepts. We've been in business for over 35 years and Sugar Land for 29. We've employed over 30 students from Fort Bend ISD, and many have become actual teachers in Fort Bend ISD. We specialize in embroidery, printing, sublimation, DTG, and everything is done in-house. And I know that the district offers a web design thing for you all, but we do web stores for free. And my IT guy's wife had surgery, so I'm gonna show you all that this is what is given to you, shows every single person what they ordered, and then you get a spreadsheet that shows the actual breakdown of the monies on it. Our minimum is 1, and we keep the screens, and we do reorders for school shirts through the whole year. We'll make sure the child has the garment they need, as well as the PTO be able to give it to them. The giveaway we're giving away is going to be a jacket, a dry duck jacket, or a Columbia jacket. You just get to pick it out from our distributor. I will say one thing, with the supply chain, it's been quite a challenge being able to get merchandise. We have over 15 distributors and over 45 warehouses nationwide. We had one instance where there was 10,000 of every size available. The next day, gone. So it's become quite a challenge. And so we ask people to be patient, but it's working out. Sometimes the color of the garment has to be changed, but it's just beyond our control right now. But thank you for your time.
All right, let's see who's the last winner. Jennifer McClarkin, are you here? Okay. All right. Okay, let's try again. Let's see. Shelly Rixner. Are you here?
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, yay, Shelly. Okay. Well, I always get excited because I think you're not here. So I'm glad you're here. What school are you representing?
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth. Awesome. Well, congratulations. And we will get you and Quarter Concepts connected, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So that concludes our our Minute to Win It. Thanks for participating.
So in closing, we really do want to grow this collaboration with all of our parent organizations throughout the district. We are here, Collaborative Communities, along with our enterprise funds and our internal audit, business and finance side. We collaborate together to provide you guys the supports. We just want to know what you need so that we can help bring it to you. So with Pyle, did you need to add anything?
No, I think that you've covered it. I mean, like Lydia said, we want this to grow and we want to be able to support you in the best way possible. So we look forward to our future collaborations. Thank you so much for participating tonight.
Y'all have a good night. And oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I have a quick question before you go. I'm so sorry, I was kind of in and out. And I think, Powell, I had emailed you the HEB point of contact, right? And so here's what I ran into with that. You know, you all sent, you know, a pretty thorough document out. And then when I tried to connect with the school, they had no clue what, you know, I was talking about or, you know, how to even get started on it. And so now we're in the process. I, you know, was working with the secretary, but our secretary has since gone to a different position. So we've got to, you know, try and work with a new secretary. But I'm just wondering, how is that being communicated with, you know, whomever? Because, you know, when I reached out to the principal, of course, it made more sense for the HEB point of contact to be a school, a Fort Bend ISD employee, rather than, you know, a PTO, PTA booster, because you know, this is a possible ever-changing position. But again, she had no information about it. So
the principal had no information, or the HEB contact?
The secretary, right? So we don't currently have one in place because I don't think that, you know, she's followed the steps to be able to do that.
So that's a great question. We've been working very closely with HEB and the HEB contacts here in our community, because they do provide support directly to our campuses, and they want, you know, we're helping them streamline so that it makes sense. And so there's a campus point of contact. However, parent organizations are separate from the campuses. And so campuses are also allowed to receive support, I think 3 times per year from HEB. And so I can work with her. We work very closely to understand how can our parent organization submit that point of contact for them to, again, make this a little bit more simpler, and can certainly get back to you offline when I hear from her.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Yes, and that's what I understood from your email.
Of the campus as well. That way I can make sure it's at the forefront of her mind.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Can you remind me of the campus that you represent?
Malala Yousafzai Elementary.
Okay. I will certainly be in touch and understand that a little bit better from the parent organization side.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Serenity. I know you get all the questions from everybody. Thank you all for this space, though.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Happy to be here. Y'all have a good night. Good question about HEB.
Sorry, I was joining late. I was from Hightower. I was held up with other